Hello, race fans. Welcome to the Bison Challenge at Gravity Throttle Racing. We're so happy you're here.
And this is the final group race out of the 6. These competitors have had to wait well over a month, and they're ready to hit that track.
My name is Aaron Tate.
And this is Richard Gere. It looks like I'm that Secret Service guy, and you're Billy.
Well, if you're the Secret Service guy, it looks like you're doing something pretty typical for guys that face a tree.
Oh, come on, Aaron. Billy is, hey look, he's rounding up his dinosaurs. Looks like they're singing in a choir.
The first of the 4 competitors from Dutch Clutch Racing is Sue. And he's driving that beautiful Sue line just like the train line.
Oh, that makes sense because he's from Wisconsin.
Next up, from the Chase Family Racing is Incount, driving the number 7.
Yeah, Incount's from Massachusetts. He's been in many of our tournaments, including the Clone Wars last year.
And now we've got, from Roberts Family Motorsports, Sarah Roberts is driving the number 171 Lightning Bolt Bison.
The Roberts family is back after racing in the Dragon Wagon.
And then finally, from Johnson Racing is Biohazard.
Let's see, the Roberts family is from Alabama, and Johnson Racing hails from Oregon.
Are you tracking?
Okay, race fans, race 1 is about to begin, and Sue is on the outside. Then we've got Biohazard, Sarah Roberts, and closest to us is Incount. Green lights mean that the first race is underway, and Sarah has a nice lead. First down the Joker lane, and it looks like Biohazard, had the lead coming around the Mesa Butte, but hit the wall. Now Sue is spinning around, pirouetting, and look at that. Sarah's going to pull out in the lead down runway 3. So far, we've got 3 drivers making their way around, with Sarah coming down the scrambler looking very smooth. First place for her. A little hit from Incount, but race 1 is in the books.
And the race for Sarah Roberts began wonderfully as she jumps out in the lead on the Joker lane. And here we see Sue making his way around, but it was a tough ride for Biohazard. Now Sue does a beautiful job staying in the race. However, Sarah takes advantage of his little slip-up. Incount is in Chase, or Chase Family Racing.
Chase Family?
I guess that makes sense. And Sarah Roberts has 4. She leads.
That's a goofy way of explaining it. Okay, well, race fans, we hope that Chase doesn't always stay in Chase. He needs to win. Now he's in the 3rd lane here, and closest to us is Sue. They're off, and oh my goodness, Sarah has crashed, and Biohazard just tipped over.
Attention drivers, we have a red flag. The race has been waved off.
I think there was contact before they got to that ledge after the creek jump, so we'll start things over.
The rules here at Gravity Throttle Racing are that there shall be no contact until the little ledge coming up, and you can clearly see where Sarah came off a little cockeyed, and Biohazard and Sarah connected, and that caused both of them to tip over.
Well, and I'm sure that's good relief for both of those drivers because they get a shot now at the re-race of race number 2, and Sarah's got the lead. That was a nice straight jump. She's maintaining the lead, and Incount, look at him. He's going to pull down first on the Joker lane. There's a great drift by Sarah. That's going to put her well ahead. And I'm looking back behind there, and I saw Biohazard had more problems on the Mesa Butte, but for Sarah, she's just cruising along in the lead. I expect to see there come the others. There they come around in the picture. They're going to go down the scrambler, and it's going to be Incount that tips over. Sarah's going to take first, and Sue is going to push his way through for 2nd place. Wow, what a finish.
Let's take a look here at Biohazard as he comes in and bumps into the wall once again, finding himself stranded on Mesa Butte. Now for the other drivers, they're looking pretty good. And Sarah is looking very good as she comes through in 1st place again. Sue is getting a little bit tangled up on the runway. Incount is trying to catch up, but the scrambler makes a victim of him, and he ends up with no points. So Incount has 2, Sue has 6, and the leader is Sarah Roberts with 8.
Yeah, a very impressive run so far for Sarah, who's now on the outside. She'll be drifting once again, and Incount is right to her inside. Sue and Biohazard is now out of the drift lanes. Come on, Biohazard, let's finish the race. Whoa, that was a little pop wheelie by Sue, who has a good sizable lead. Now Incount's got the lead on the drift. Here he comes over, and Sarah's closing the gap on him. And Sue is going to come down. Oh, he's been cut off by Sarah, but he now bullies his way past Sarah into 2nd place once again and pushes Incount down the scrambler. Let's see how Incount does. He's very smooth. Comes in first. And there is 3rd place for Sarah, and Biohazard does finish the race.
Race fans, take a look at Sue launch himself right over that undulation in the snow, as Richard likes to call it, and down into the Joker lane first. Count and Sarah Roberts are sporting some pretty fancy drifting, and they manage to come around the S-turns and hold the first and second place position. Now, Biohazard does make it around the sharp right turn and finishes the race. So while the others are jockeying their way around the Big U, it is Sarah Roberts that holds the lead with 10. Sue has 9.
Okay.
Hey, Richard, is
Yeah.
Biohazard actually carrying biohazardous material?
No. Oh. I don't know. Maybe he is. I hope not. Oh.
Oh dear, that's a problem.
If I were these other drivers, I'd be running as fast as I could too. Nice cutoff there by Sue, who has the lead now, and Count is right behind. Count is tipped over. Oh wow, that's another unfortunate tip over by him. Sue is holding the lead, well ahead of. There's Sarah in the background, and Sue's going to come through in first. Sarah has finished, or will hopefully. Come on, Sarah. Finish all 4 races now, as we are going to gear up for halftime.
Well, race fans, watch Biohazard here bounce on the landing and bounce right out of his lane. Now, we're glad to see that he didn't tip over, and so we don't have to worry about a spill. Speaking of spills, take a look at what happened here with Count as he tries to make his way through the S-turns but just gets rattled around, being out of place, and Sue comes through with 4 points. Now, Sue has 13, and Sarah Roberts, after gaining 3 more points, also has 13.
It's time for another installment of the Halftime Test Drive, and today we've got this gorgeous metallic blue 2006 Unobtainium 1. Numbskull submitted this beautiful car, concept car, and look at that, just a little nose heavy. So we put it in lane 1, the lane that is actually the shortest distance. And wow, it seemed to be going fast. And look at that, around the right-hand turn and down the scrambler. Wait a minute, did that say 21 point something? The timer wasn't even awake. Let's try it again. And so you can see it just scurrying right through the snow and down. Watch it whip around the turn there. And coming down the scrambler quite well again. Wait a minute, I saw another 21. So we went ahead and put it in lane 2 and just watch it just travel right through the snow, and it glides down the runway and ricochets around the Big U with ease. It hits the scrambler and stays nose forward, and it looked like a delayed 22.765. This thing is obviously very fast, but how is it going to drift? And oh boy, it looks like a dog on roller skates. The poor thing loses all situational awareness. Time and again, it didn't matter what lane, it did not know how to drift. Which is really wild because the weight distribution would indicate that it should be drifting great. Well, either way, it was clearly the fastest in lane 1, and so we had to bring it down and try to get a recorded time. Ladies and gentlemen, just keep your eyes on this Unobtainium and watch. Look at that, right around the sharp right turn. That was a sharp right turn, and around the Big U, this thing was clearly gliding along. And pow, it comes through 22.108. So we're going to show you the very first 2 runs. And don't let your eyes deceive you. This is a 21.58 on the very first run. The second run. It hits the scrambler under 20 seconds and comes through at 21.52. Race fans, you can throw out all these previous records because we are talking numbskull fast.
All bow before the secrets of the numbskull.
No, you don't need to bow. Congratulations, numbskull. It's fine. He holds the record, and I think he's figured out the secret of Shavano Mountain Raceway. It is now race 5, and extra points are in play. The train is active. Sue has a great start. There goes Count on the inside. He pulls way out ahead. Biohazard is right there in the mix as well. And, oh, Biohazard hits the wall again. He just is really struggling with that drift. Sue is on his side, and he is out underneath. He's under the bridge, and there goes Count, and here comes, Sarah Roberts in second. Count is going to come through. And here comes Sarah down the scramble. Oh, no, she tips over, and we have 1 finisher.
That is not the way to start the second half of racing. We'll go to the instant replay, and really we're going to just show you some fun video because hardly any points were gathered. Count right there is the only one that finished the race. And good for him because he needed those extra points. He was the one that was falling behind, and you see him come through the finish line, and Sarah's going to topple over. So, 13 and 13 for Sarah and Sue, but in count is up to 10.
Yeah, that was a rather quick race, or a quick replay. Race 6 with Biohazard on the outside. Sarah's going to have a chance for extra points. Then we have in count, and on the inside is Sue. And Sarah's got a nice little lead going out over the snow, and in count's right on her inside, down first on the Joker lane. Sarah comes through, the hard hit to the wall, but looks real good. Over the train jump for 2 extra points. I believe we've lost Biohazard. And look at Sue. Sue has pulled out in the lead, and where is in count? Okay, so Sue's going to come through for, oh no, and Sarah tipped over. Look at that, as in count avoids the accident.
Race fans, keep your eyes on Sue. Closest to us, you'll notice he lands outside of his lane, and he's able to ride on 2 wheels and get back in his lane. Now remember, Sue is the one that came through and won the race, and there he goes. Sarah Roberts was in second, and there's in count. Now for poor Sarah Roberts, the last 2 races have resulted in toppling over on the scrambler, and in count takes advantage and collects 3 more points. With in count having 3, he brings his score up, tied with Sarah. Sue has the lead with 17.
And race fans, we need your attention. We have a breaking news report. An earthquake, magnitude 6.0, has rocked Shavano Mountain Raceway in the lower section. And you'll notice that one of the Hold My Beer dancers actually fell off the billboard sign straight onto the road.
Wow, how is his condition? Is he serious?
No, the medical staff says he's not serious. In fact, he's such a joker, they can't take him seriously at all. So they left him there.
Oh, okay. Well, is he in the way of the racers?
No, apparently he's not, but he will have the closest seat in the house.
Hey, Richard, did you notice that he never changed from his dance pose?
No, Aaron, I did not. Okay, this is race number 7. Look at Sue right on the inside and pulling first down the Joker lane. Nice job by in count, and beautiful drift by Sarah Roberts. Okay, there's 2 points for in count, 1 point for Sarah, but look at Sue pull in there and give a bump to in count. He's in second place. Sue needs to catch on up and collect some points to stay with these guys. In count comes through in first, Sue in second. There goes Sarah in third, and hey, we've got Biohazard making good use of his truck.
Well, race fans, the competition is really heating up, and you see in count there, ahead, drifting well. He does spin around, and Sarah's right behind, but it seems to be Sue that is pulling in the middle and disrupting things, and well ahead he goes. There's Biohazard, and we're happy to see him make it down the track, but the real race is between these 3, and right now, Sarah Roberts has 3 points behind in count, and Sue has the lead with 20. This is the last race.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Now, Sarah's on the inside, and she's gonna have to get a first place finish, adding 4 points for any chance. Really, Sue, who's in the catbird seat and right to his outside, which is, sorry, I keep looking at Biohazard and getting a little nervous. And there's in count. If these 2 finish, they're going to be moving on. Sarah is back there, but right now, the other 2 drivers are well ahead. And here comes Sue, and here comes in count. So for Sarah, having a beautiful beginning to a race and leading at the halfway point, her chances of moving on are faded away as the other 2 drivers come in first and second. Sarah does manage to back in for third, and we're happy to report that Biohazard has not lost a single ounce of hazardous material.
But he has made the racing interesting, and here he bounces after the creek jump and is managing to stay upright but does not finish. You're looking at the 2 drivers, Sue and in count, getting 2 and 1 extra points as they come around well ahead of Sarah Roberts. And so congratulations to Sue, who gets 26 points, and in count with 23.
I think it's time that we tell you all about the next round of racing for the Baja Bisons.
Race fans, we're down to 12 drivers, and we have divided them into 3 groups. They will be competing in 8-round races, and the top 4 will move to the final.
How do you ask? Are we going to get 4 racers, 4 finalists, out of 3 group races? We're going to be following their points, and after 8 rounds, the top 4 in points are the finalists.
Are you tracking?